What's worth it? How can I teach my children what matters most? In this episode, I'm going to disclose the question and answer exercise that can make all the difference in knowing what matters most. My wife, Sherry, and I, we've been married more than 45 years. We have 6 children and now 17 grandchildren. And we have family vacations with a purpose. We have annual Grandpa's Camp, where our grandchildren come for a week without their parents. We start out with the teenagers. They come for 3 days. And then the 8-year-olds and older come and join them with Grandpa, and the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds go with Grandma in the cabin. This is one of my favorite exercises I do with my children and my grandchildren. I do this with my employees at my company. I have done this with Boy Scouts on campouts, and I want you to pay real close attention. I got inspired by a similar exercise that Dan Sullivan, the strategic coach, taught me. This is to help you get clarity and your children, anyone you care about, how to determine what matters most. I'll use an example of when I was sitting around a campfire with 15 Boy Scouts. These were 14 and 15-year-old scouts. My sons were among them. And we had gone through a grueling day of backpacking into this high mountain lake. And so they were exhausted, and some of them that thought they were so macho weren't so macho. We sort of had to peel off the layers of the onion, and they knew that I was going to talk serious around the campfire. So there's 3 different exercises we do on a 3-night campout. This is the first night. I hand them all a sheet of paper, and it's titled What's Worth It? And they take about 15 minutes and they write down the answers to the following questions. I first will ask them, well, what's worth keeping track of daily? So they write down what's worth keeping track of daily. That gets them going. What's worth measuring? You know, what do you want to measure? Progress or whatever. What's worth saving or preserving? What's worth remembering permanently? And then I get into what's worth investing time, money, your energy into, you know, an education or what have you. Once they're warmed up to those questions, then I have them answer, well, what's worth sacrificing for? What's worth fighting for? You know, like freedom, your country, religion, whatever. And then what's worth dying for? Now, these are very introspective questions. So on the front of the sheet, they're writing down what's worth it. Then I have them turn it over and they write down the answers to these questions. What's worth doing every year and why? What's worth doing every quarter and why? What's worth doing every month and why? What's worth doing every week and why? What's worth doing every day and why? So they write down the answers to what's worth it. After about 15 minutes, I say, okay, let's go around the campfire and share. Now, on this particular campout, I had 5 fathers. They had never heard a lot of the things that came out of their sons' mouths when they shared what was worth it. Some of them teared up. Some of them, their buttons were ready to bust off their shirt. That's my son saying this. They couldn't get it out of them at home around the dinner table or at church. But around a campfire, once you've sort of peeled off the layers of onion, it's amazing on a grandpa's camp what everybody starts sharing, and they feel safe on telling everybody in their mind what's worth it. Now, when you hear those that you care about, your children, your grandchildren, say, I want to keep track of my progress or how many books I'm reading on a daily basis. I want to remember these memories and write down and never forget how I felt when this happened or that happened. This is what I think is worth investing time, energy, and money into in college education, and to learn a foreign language and to have multiple skills and not rely on my basketball to get me through life, because very few people become professional basketball players. And this is what you want them to know, but you don't think they really know this until you ask them these questions. And then when you get into, so what's worth remembering permanently? That I know that this is the right way to go. That this is how I stay on track instead of messing around with drugs and alcohol or whatever, or pornography. And they will tell you what they know is worth remembering and what doing. Then when you get into what's worth sacrificing for, I mean, wouldn't you like to leave behind to your posterity, your answers to those questions? Wouldn't you like to have read what your father, mother, grandfather, grandmother thought was worth sacrificing for? What's worth fighting for? Freedom, your freedom of speech, freedom in America. What's worth dying for? The people you love, freedom, country. That's why I would gladly give my life to preserve the freedom we have in this country. It gets really serious when you answer these questions. Now, we go around the circle on the other side, and what do we say? Everybody is in the circle. You can do this at home, but I'm talking about doing it on a camp out, because it's just awesome. We're around the campfire and everybody now has shared what's worth sacrificing for, fighting for, and dying for. Now we share, so what's worth doing every year and why? Oh, this camp out is awesome. Now, it isn't the fish they caught. It isn't all the back. It is sharing with one another the things that really matter most. What is worth it? Oh yeah, once a year we want to do this. We want to always celebrate the holidays with family. We want to always have Thanksgiving and do the gratitude amplifier. And all of a sudden they all start talking about the traditions that mean the most, that they want to make sure that happens every year. So what's worth doing quarterly? Oh, once a quarter, I want to go on an overnighter with my spouse. I want to go on a little family retreat. Quarterly, I want to read a book. Whatever it is, they all share, and this is the best payday for parents, to hear your children share what's worth doing every year, every quarter. How about every month? Oh, every month I want to make sure that I do this. Now, I like to read a book a month. I want to read an entire book of scripture. I want to monthly go on an overnighter with my wife. I would like to, on a monthly basis, worship in our church, in a temple. There's all kinds of things. And when you hear those that you care about say, this is what I want to do every single month the rest of my life. Wow. What's worth doing every week? And why? Well, I like to every week actually have 2 lunch dates with my wife and 1 date night. And if it gets preempted, I make it up. So usually lunches on the default setting are Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Friday night is date night. But sometimes Saturday night becomes date night if something takes place on a Friday night. But if I can't go to lunch or take her to lunch on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I make sure I do it another day. But see, to me, that's worth doing every week, is spending time with my wife. And then also being close to one of my children. When we were raising our 6 children, what was worth it? Spending time and attention with each child individually. So our oldest daughter, Maylee, her day was Monday, that we focused a lot on her. Tuesday was Adria. Wednesday was Emran. Thursday was Aaron. Friday was Mindy. Saturday was Ashley. And so we sort of focused our attention and had their favorite treat, popcorn or whatever, and invited them into our bedroom to have a little conversation. That was worth doing every week. So whatever it is, everybody shares what's worth doing every day and why. To hear your children talk about your values in a little bit different way, well, every day it's worth reading out of the Bible. Every day it's worth praying. Every day it's worth exercising for at least 20 minutes. Every day it's worth repeating positive affirmations. Every day it's worth writing down 3 wins for the day. 3 or 4 or 5 things I'm grateful for. This is where habits are developed. The power behind this, you write down what's worth it. What's worth sacrificing for, fighting for, dying for, remembering, preserving, what's worth doing every year, every quarter, every month, every week, every day, and why. Go around the circle and share and talk about a payday, because everybody knows what everybody else values, and you appreciate it, and it lifts everyone up as we talk about what matters most. So if this has resonated with you and you've been listening with your heart more than maybe your ears, I would encourage you to learn that exercise and several others. I have one called How to Avoid Absolutely Unacceptable Regrets. These are contained in a lot of my books. Entitlement Abolition, How to Lead Your Family from Me to We is contained in here. And I would love to gift you a copy of this book for free. You can go to entitlementabolitionbook.com and learn about how to do family vacations and retreats with a purpose in Grandpa's camp. And you'll see a lot of these exercises like what's worth it. And when you do that, you pay $5.95 shipping and handling. You can then watch an 18-hour master class if you want and dive as deep as you desire. But I want to do that for you because those exercises have been game changing for our family, scouts, adults. Anytime I facilitate a retreat in business with a purpose, my employees thank me for teaching them concepts like what matters most, what's worth it.